Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, especially to the Eagles, you know that the league is always full of surprises, twists, and turns. But what's really catching everyone's attention right now is the buzz about A.J. Brown. That's right, the star wide receiver who has been such a vital part of Philadelphia's explosive offense. Now, there's chatter about a potential blockbuster trade that could shake things up not just for the Eagles, but across the entire NFL. And yes, it involves Houston Texans, a team that's been struggling to find consistency, but has tons of potential, especially with their young quarterback C.J. Stroud leading the way. Let's step back a bit and give some context. The Eagles, as we all know, have built a very strong team around Jalen Hurts, with a balanced offensive attack that's been a nightmare for defenses. A.J. Brown, since arriving in Philadelphia, has been nothing short of spectacular. Last season, he posted over 1,000 receiving yards and scored multiple touchdowns, showcasing his ability to make big plays down the field, be a reliable target in clutch moments, and contribute significantly to the Eagles' Super Bowl aspirations. His route running, hands, and ability to gain yards after catch make him one of the top wide receivers in the league today. But, as we all know in the NFL, circumstances change quickly. Brown's contract situation has become a talking point. His current deal, which is quite lucrative, is also becoming more expensive as he gets older. At 28 years old, he's entering what many consider the prime years of his career, but that also means the Eagles might be looking at the future and considering whether they can maximize their cap space and roster flexibility. And let's be honest, with Howie Roseman at the helm, no move is off the table. Roseman has always been known for his aggressive, sometimes bold, maneuvers, whether it's trading draft picks, acquiring star players, or restructuring contracts to keep the roster competitive. Now, what's fueling this trade buzz? It all stems from a combination of factors. First, the Eagles have a deep receiving core. They've added players like Jaylen Nowell and Jaden Higgins to complement Brown, so they have options. Second, Brown's production this year has been somewhat muted. Through just 2 games, he's only targeted 9 times, catching 6 passes for 35 yards. That's not what Eagles fans are used to, especially considering his talent and the role he played last season. And of course, Brown has already made some subtle hints about his frustration with the lack of targets, which, in the NFL, can sometimes signal a player's desire for a change of scenery. On the other side, the Texans are still trying to find their footing. Their offensive line has been a consistent issue, giving C.J. Stroud less time to operate, which affects the overall offensive productivity. The Texans have invested heavily in their receiving core, Jaden Higgins and Jaylen Nowell, both of whom are promising young players. But they're missing that true, proven go-to receiver that can step up in critical situations, someone who can reliably win matchups and be the focal point of the passing game. That's where A.J. Brown could theoretically fit in, providing that veteran presence and playmaking ability. However, the question is, does it make sense for the Texans to trade for Brown right now? The odds are not exactly in their favor. As of now, the Texans are considered long shots to make a deep playoff run, with plus 4,000 odds to reach the Super Bowl, according to FanDuel. They're behind teams like the Arizona Cardinals, who are at plus 3,500. So, investing a significant draft capital or cap space to acquire a player like Brown could be viewed as a gamble, especially considering their current roster needs and the fact that they're still rebuilding their offensive line. And let's remember, the Texans already have some promising young receivers, and they've invested draft capital in players like Higgins and Nowell. It's worth noting that Brown and Nico Collins have very similar play styles, both big, athletic outside receivers capable of winning contested catches and making yards after the catch. That overlap could complicate how the Texans deploy their personnel, and it raises questions about whether they'd want to pay the price for a player who might not fit perfectly within their scheme or roster strategy. Now, from the Eagles' perspective, trading A.J. Brown might seem unlikely at first glance, especially given his big play ability and importance to their offense. But as we've seen in the NFL, no player is untouchable, especially if the front office believes they can get significant value back in return. And this is where the speculation heats up. Could the Eagles, under the right circumstances, consider moving Brown if they believe it's the best move for their future? Perhaps if they see a chance to replenish draft capital, or if they're looking to address other roster needs, it might be on the table. But as of now, nothing is set in stone. What's also interesting is how this potential trade fits into the broader picture of the NFL landscape. The Eagles are coming off a season where they made it all the way to the Super Bowl, losing a heartbreaker in the end. Their core is still intact, and Jalen Hurts continues to develop into one of the top quarterbacks in the league. The team's defense remains stout, and their coaching staff is top-notch. Still, the league is always evolving and competition is fierce. The NFC East in particular is a division where every team is trying to outdo the other. The Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders are all making moves, trying to improve their rosters, so the Eagles know they can't rest on their laurels. If a trade like this, though speculative, were to happen, it could shift the division's balance of power. It could give the Eagles an even bigger edge, or it could open up new opportunities for rival teams to catch up or even surpass them. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on A.J. Brown's impact and what he means to Philadelphia. Brown's arrival last season was a game-changer. His ability to stretch the field, combined with his physicality and route running, made him a favorite target for Hurts. The chemistry they developed was evident in the big plays and clutch moments. His presence on the field demands attention from defenses, opening up opportunities for other receivers and the running game. His toughness and ability to win contested catches have become hallmarks of his game. But as we all know, NFL teams are constantly analyzing, reevaluating, and making tough decisions for the sake of the franchise's long-term success. Whether or not a trade materializes, the mere fact that such discussions are happening shows how dynamic and unpredictable this league can be. The Eagles, with their impressive roster and talented players, remain contenders, but they also have to navigate the complexities of cap space, player contracts, and strategic roster building. So what's next? Will we see the Eagles actually pull the trigger on a trade involving A.J. Brown? Honestly, it's unlikely in the immediate future, but in the NFL, surprises happen all the time. The league is filled with stories of blockbuster trades and unexpected moves that reshape the playoff picture. For now, fans can be assured that the Eagles are always in the mix, always looking for ways to improve, and always ready to make bold moves if the opportunity presents itself. And remember, the season is still young. There's plenty of football left to be played, and Brown's role could evolve dramatically depending on how the season unfolds. Injuries, team performance, and the evolving needs of the roster will all play a part. But what remains clear is that the Eagles' front office is watching closely, analyzing every option and preparing for all scenarios. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, fans should be excited about what's coming up for the Eagles. The team has a talented roster, a proven coaching staff, and a fan base that's among the most passionate in the league. Whether or not A.J. Brown remains in Philadelphia for the long term, his impact has already been felt, and he's part of the reason why the Eagles are a team to watch this season. But the NFL's always full of surprises, and this trade talk is just a reminder of how unpredictable this sport can be. As we analyze the bigger picture, it's fascinating to see how roster decisions, contract negotiations, and strategic moves all intertwine to shape the destiny of a franchise. The Eagles, with their rich history and recent success, are always aiming higher. They want to bring another Lombardi Trophy home, and every decision, every trade, every game counts in that quest. So fans, keep your eyes glued to the news, stay tuned for updates, and remember that in the NFL, nothing is set in stone until it's officially announced. The season is full of twists, and the Eagles are always in the thick of the action. Whether A.J. Brown stays or goes, one thing is certain. Philadelphia's journey is far from over, and we're all here to witness it unfold in real time. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news.